Right, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's my reaction as Enzo Maresca has been sacked by Chelsea. Whether he left, whether he sacked, they put out as mutual agreement. It came out on New Year's Eve. Obviously, tensions building in the days before, but it came out on New Year's Eve that Maresca was planning on leaving, slash Chelsea were planning on sacking him. It sort of felt they both really wanted to end. Apparently, they both deemed it untenable, it being his position at the club. Absolute major news, a massive shake-up. It's got to the winter time, and it's all gone down the pot again for us. But yeah, let's get into it and what this means and why it happened. I mean, I just think it's embarrassing. Really, this is not how a serious club has ran. We've fallen out with since Clearlakers came in, and let's be honest, a lot of it looks to go down to Begdad Igbali. I don't think that's not controversial to say. Everyone knows that it is mainly Igbali at play here. So ever since they've came in, Clearlake, they've fallen out with three managers in what, 5 years? They had no permanent front shirt sponsor in 2.5 years. So they've not actually been able to agree a front shirt sponsor. They just had the one what was already in place. There's not one player in the playing squad over the age of 28, and yet they expect the world. This is not how a serious club is ran. If I read those three things out to you, you think this would be a mid-table club at best. It is embarrassing how this club is run. How do you expect to appeal to other managers now that this is the situation? How do you expect to appeal to other players, and even our current set of players? We've got a current set of players who will be coming up to their primes in the next few years. Are they going to want to be in this? This is an absolute mess, left, right, and centre. It's not how a serious club is ran. And the club released a brief, which Dave Jones read out on Sky Sports last night, and it was very, very critical of Enzo. It almost seemed like they were trying to put their hands up, wash their hands of it, and say, "Absolutely none of this was us." They can't take accountability. These lot, they cannot take accountability. They are egotistical. They are, honestly, it's unbelievable the ego these lot have got. They're petulant, egotistical, and they're embarrassing. The way they've run this club is embarrassing. So I'll say, yeah, falling out with three managers. They made two managers want to leave, and they've sacked another one who was a fan favourite. And obviously, Enzo Maresca was, the squad seemed very, very happy with him. The fans were very, very happy with him. He was very happy with the fans and the squad. And yeah, they're falling out with another manager and sacked him. It is embarrassing. They've got a horrible track record right now. How are a team like Chelsea, who have just won two trophies in the summer, are two-time European champions in the heart of London, one of the biggest cities in the world, how they cannot get a front of shirt sponsor when literally every go down to leagues to level 10, you go to Sunday League. Sunday League teams have front of shirt sponsors. How can a team like Chelsea not have a front of shirt sponsor? It is absolutely embarrassing way to run the club. And no matter how many people tell you, whether it's pundits, whether it's the manager himself, Enzo Maresca in this situation, no matter how many people tell you, we need a bit more experience, we need this, we need that, they just ignore it and they keep the same method. They refuse to adapt the same method. It is absolutely embarrassing. It's not how you run a club. And say you fall out with another manager, sack him, despite him being, relatively successful for the time with all right squad, and all of a sudden it's like you put out a brief just criticising him, making it like he was the only issue. You refuse to take any blame on yourself. You refuse to take any criticism on yourself. It is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, Begdad Igbali, the sporting directors, who will see Paul and Stanley and I think Stuart, I can't remember his first name, they should go. They should be gone as well. They should walk as well, because it is absolutely embarrassing the way they've run the club. So there's been a few reasons cited in the brief or by the press on why Enzo Maresca was sacked / left. So we're going to go through them. The first one was form. I mean, yeah, maybe we had a bit of a reality check last month. Before the season, we felt like, top 4 / 5, obviously, whatever the Champions League, felt like the minimum. We had to achieve that at least. And obviously, we are in 5th right now, and a lot can change. A lot can change. I still think 4th is gettable. I still think we can catch Villa. I can see maybe. Also, I think Arsenal and Man City in the top 2. I can see Liverpool taking 3rd. I can see us catching Villa and getting 4th. I just think Villa are a few injuries away from, they had a really good, obviously, 11-win run, obviously included beating us. But I still think that 4th place from Villa's gettable. They have very aggressive, form swings, if you get what I mean. And they're only a few injuries or whatever away from dropping down. I still think fourth and Villa was very gettable. I still thought, with Maresca, we could have nicked that on the final days. And we can't forget what Maresca's done. I mean, he got us that top four last year, last game of the season against Forest. Great memory, we enjoyed it. In November, the November just gone. What was it, 20 days ago? He got awarded the Manager of the Month for November. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. We're in a cup semi-final, obviously in the League Cup. What, according to some journalists, and Sky reported, is this isn't a priority to the board. Apparently, winning the League Cup is not a priority to the board. Winning a trophy is not the priority to the board. I mean, this is absolutely laughable. Absolutely laughable. I mean, of course, yeah, under Abramovich, the League Cup wasn't everything, but a trophy's a trophy. That's what we were about. We're about winning trophies. Enzo Maresca, he came in, he's won 2 trophies. He won the Club World Cup. That performance against PSG in the final was incredible. One of the best we've played in years, to be honest. Very well played. Also beat Betis in the Conference League. Obviously, granted, the Conference League we should have won, of course. We were by far the biggest favourites. A lot of the teams we played were, it's not great quality, but we still went through. We still won it. Playing a backup squad most of the time when it came to the final, we played a decent team and we beat them relatively comfortably in the second half. I say the Club World Cup speaks for itself. Yeah, beat PSG, very good team in the final. We had some tricky games in the lead up to that. We dealt with them very well. Looked good. We won 2 trophies. Obviously, the Club World Cup being a major financial win for the club as well. As I'm sure they're very aware in the board. They probably love the money. I said the players seem to have him. He's achieved. It's not been outstanding at times. There's been flaws, but he's been good. He's been good. Look at the way he's adapted to big games, that Barcelona game, that Arsenal game this year, come to mind straight away. Obviously, fresh in the mind. He's been good. He's not been perfect. Of course, he's not. But he's been decent. He's been decent. I mean, he's got an all right squad. Where the squad is, what the squad is right now, you probably think, yeah, fourth and fifth is where we should be, and where we have been is probably right with that squad. Yeah, we've got you can argue we've got the best left back in the league. You can argue we've got the best right back in the league. You can argue we've got the best centre mid in the league, and Moises Caicedo. You can argue when Palmer's firing, he's the best, number 10 in the league. Yeah, but look at the rest of the squad. Look at the squad overall. Look at some of the signs we've made. It's not an unbelievable squad. Yeah, when we sign these players, we think, okay, that's a pair of really good potential. They can be unbelievable, but right now they're not an unbelievable squad. And what we're seeing this season, we watch a lot of them. A lot of them don't look good enough, to start for Chelsea at least. So what he's actually doing with his squad, it's all right. It's probably where we should be. And obviously December, as per usual, has been tough. It's always tough this time of year. We all drop off. 2 wins from 8 in all competitions. It's not good enough. We've been very, very poor in December. I mean, we've been shocking, really. The performances of recent haven't been good enough. We can all accept that. 6 points in the league from a possible 18. Yeah, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Not great at all. We've been pretty poor, but that's games that we should have won. I think we should have won Villa. I think, okay, granted, Maresca made some questionable substitutions, but we'll get on to that in a second, whether that was completely his fault. But we should have won that. We should put that to bed in the first half. Not necessarily his fault. Even against Bournemouth the other night, I think we had a chance to win that. Enzo Fernandez in both those games had chances to win. Obviously, he did score the last goal of the Enzo Maresca era now, but yeah, I mean, it's not entirely his fault. Leeds, I don't think was entirely his fault. December's been a struggle, and he's got to take some blame for it. Of course, he has. But you also got to look at the players and just the level of the players at certain points. And as I said, we do tend to fall off this time of the year very often. I don't know why. It's bizarre. We just seem to. Yeah, December's not been great, but is it necessarily his fault? And does it warrant the sacking? I don't think it does, personally. Another key feature, and something David Ornstein especially has led on, and also the club sort of put out in the brief, was him speaking to other clubs. Obviously, in the press conference, he's been asked about links to Man City. There's been talks about him, Man City, and him, Juventus. David Ornstein came out and said Maresca informed the club in mid-October and late December, obviously when he recently asked about it in the press conference, that he was talking to Man City representatives. The brief by Sky, what Sky Sports read out, he informed the club he was talking to Man City and Juventus. The club found that disrespectful, what is fair enough. It appeared the club felt that this was a distraction and the reason behind the sacking. And it's disappointing if true. It's really disappointing if true if he was speaking to Man City and Juventus. That is gutting. That hurts. But to play a bit of devil's advocate, you can see where he's coming from. Because as we'll get in a second, what the club is putting him through and the way he's been treated by the club, you can see why he'd look away. And this is not to mention, Ornstein has also said that Maresca, if he was offered a new contract, he would have signed it. He would have signed. The club have themselves to blame. They could have ended the talks. They could have offered a new contract. He would have signed it and it all would be merry. So, yeah, the way the club's treating him, it is embarrassing. Let's be honest. So, yeah, I mean, it's disappointing if he was talking to other clubs. I can see possibly why, from his personal standpoint, why he would. But it is, it is disappointing. But we could have avoided the issue entirely. It was possible. But this is this is the key one for me. This was the major shock point. This has probably been one of the main talking points of it all, and it was Ben Jacobs who led the story, and it's been taken by everyone now pretty much. This is the real key report. So obviously he clashed with the hierarchy. A lot of this was over selection, team selection. He felt on the pitch decisions were taken out of his control. That might take a second to settle in. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now, in response to this rumour, the club came out and said that this was talking about the medical department's power. So we have a completely independent medical department at Chelsea now, and obviously, I will say that the way most players, like you look at players like Reece James and Wesley Fofana of recent, the way they've been treated since they've came back from injury, it's been really good. However, how much this was down to Maresca, how much is down to the medical department, we're not too sure now. But there's a completely independent medical department, and they can decide. They decide basically when players play and when they don't. And apparently, the manager and whoever's the next manager, the manager after that, they will never have any say over his medical department. They get the final say on if a player can play or not. So the club put that down to this for this falling out, and this is definitely a reason for Enzo Maresca. So this is why in press conferences, Enzo Maresca said, Cole Palmer can play 90 minutes, and then he's been taken off early. So one, Enzo feels like this medical department, he's not giving him the full control he wants and he needs and he deserves. And this has been a massive conflict, problem, causing friction. But also, and the club tried to just say it was just that, and they basically tried to make Enzo look petulant over it. But there's another in this report. What Ben Jacobs put out, Maresca felt it ran deeper than this. Apparently, now if this is true, this is absolutely shocking. Maresca was dictated by the board on which players he should play, especially younger players, based on needing to raise players' market values, based on just the board were trying to dictate who Enzo Maresca started, who he subbed, when he subbed, how much he paid certain players to obviously boost market value. If this is true, if this fact is true, then it is absolutely shocking, and without a doubt, I know I said it earlier, they all should go. Lawrence Stewart, Paul Stanley, and Bedad Bali. But without a doubt, if this is true, they should be gone on the spot, and it shouldn't even be a question. It is absolutely shocking. What is the point in having your manager if he cannot decide who plays? I mean, it is embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. You hire this man to make those decisions. That is why he's there. I know a lot of these days they're called head coaches, not managers, but the sole fact of it, that is why he's there. And to think that he can't make those decisions, insane. It is insane. It's absolutely mind-baffling that he is not getting his decision. He's not being allowed to make those decisions. And obviously, we've seen it with things like Igbali and Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley doesn't seem like a massive issue. Now, that's why I'm not really mentioning his name that much. Obviously, he stepped back. He sort of more seems to just be doing funding, Todd Bowley. So I'm sort of holding back criticism on him. I'm mainly focused on people like Bedad Bali, who's still very heavily involved and clearly more involved than what we thought he was with all of this, if this is true. Obviously, we've seen them walking into the change room and stuff before. I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable what these lot think they can do. I mean, what is the point of having a manager? This is how you do it. And this is what we went back to earlier, what we said earlier about, how are you going to expect to appeal to other managers if this is the situation? You simply can't. No manager with any self-respect walks into this role. They just don't. It is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, I don't believe it. It's absolutely shocking. It is. I just don't get it. It's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling. But it doesn't sound real that you would try to take who your manager will play and who he won't. I mean, it is based on market value and stuff like that. It's absolutely insane to me. It's absolutely insane. And all this, you look at the way they're apparently disregarding the League Cup. Basically, it just shows they have got it all wrong. They've got priorities and just general beliefs all wrong. They are not in sync with any of the fans, anyone really in the footballing world. They seem to be completely separate from the whole footballing world and what their thought of how this should be is. It is absolutely shocking. It's just embarrassing. If it is all true, then yeah, I mean, it just shows we're really not being run like a professional football club at all. We're being run by like a circus. It is embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is absolutely shocking. It's a real, punch in the liver for Chelsea fans. It's gutting to see, really. I know so I say some weren't a fan of Maresca. He wasn't perfect, but what's out there right now and who are being linked to replace him will be another jury. It's not great. It's not an upgrade. I don't necessarily think. I don't think he deserved this at all. I think he deserved a bit more backing. Obviously, we saw stuff like the centre back issue where he wanted someone more experienced. He wanted a centre back in the summer. He got denied. All of it is embarrassing. It's been a real it has been a real tough time. And then to come out with this brief now and really slack Enzo Maresca off, I think it's really unfair. I think so. I think it's petulant. I think it's egotistical. I think it's embarrassing. Um, serious questions got to be asked. Serious questions will be asked as well. We trust the fans. So we've got a game. Our next game's away from home, so maybe they'll escape criticism a bit there. If the game was at home, you could see not protest necessarily, but big questions being asked by the fans. But obviously, we are away to City next. We're going to have a caretaker manager in charge. They're not going to get a new manager done in time. Obviously, the game is on Sunday, so the under 21s manager is taking over while they seek a replacement. The replacement, they are expecting to have one in very, very soon, sort of start of next week. But yeah, it's shocking, really, isn't it? The whole thing is unbelievable, to say the least. And it just shows what a mess we're in. That's it. So then, what's your thoughts on it? Yeah, I'm just baffled, really. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.